is RSN, Rangers Sports Network, presented by Progressive. It is baseball time in Texas.
It's crazy how far we've came, and I take big pride in being an African American in this game and being somebody that somebody from back home can look up to.
Very appreciative of the courageous efforts he put forward for all players of color.
Nothing really can be accomplished without hard work. You're going to work hard no matter what, just because that's the right thing to do.
It's a great thing to be a part of and fun to watch, so I try to do my best.
Well, just some of the thoughts of the guys getting to wear number 42 tonight on Jackie Robinson Day, celebrated every year on April 15th. The roof opened today, glorious day for baseball, and one of those days that all these guys, they cherish the opportunity to simply wear the number 42 representing the great Jackie Robinson. Broke the color barrier on this day in 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers. All right, welcome in, everybody. It is great to have you along with us tonight. The Rangers and the Angels is our matchup here, the opening game of this series. I'm Dave Raymond with David Murphy, and it is a big baseball game for sure. Interdivisional play, a half game separating these two atop the standings, but really the focus today, as it is every year on this day, is the great history of Jackie Robinson, what he meant not just to the game, but to this country.
It's so special to be able to talk about a baseball player like Jackie Robinson. You could say that his character, his bravery, they outweighed what he did on the baseball field, but here's just a few things that he did on the baseball field, including winning a Rookie of the Year, an MVP. And when you see these grainy black and white videos, if you're a baseball enthusiast, it gives you chills just a little bit. I think my favorite highlight is the steal of home in Game 1 of the 1955 World Series. He did it 19 other times in his career. And whether you value him more as a person or a player, we love the fact that on April 15th, on Jackie Robinson Day, that he gets to be celebrated all across Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and obviously celebrated for what he meant to the game, to this country. He launched the civil rights movement in this country. But sometimes I think we do lose in there just how great an athlete and great a player he was. And we'll get into some of that here tonight for you as well. We do have some baseball for you, and the Rangers looking forward to this one with the Angels. Tyler Mahle will be on the mound for the Rangers. We talk about the great, pleasant surprises so far. Boy, he's got to be right at the top of the list.
Rangers baseball is presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. It's a beautiful day for baseball here in Arlington as the roof is open at Globe Life Field, and we are just about set for first pitch here in the first of a 3-game series against the LA Angels. And it's Tyler Mahle getting the start today for Texas. He was moved up a day in the rotation, so he now follows Nathan Eovaldi, and he's coming off of 2 of his best starts as a member of the Rangers. The first was back on April 4th when he pitched 5 shutout innings, and the second was back on April 9th against the Cubs. He pitched 7 innings, allowing 1 earned run off 2 hits and a walk. It was his longest outing since he pitched a complete game as a member of the Reds back in June of 2022. And after the start, Mahle told media members that it's the best he's felt since early in that 2022 season. Bruce Bochy said after that last outing that he was right on it with his stuff. His fastball was working up in the zone to both sides. His splitter was effective. And what was really impressive was that he actually got better as that start went on. We also asked Bochy today why he was moved up in the rotation Bochy said it was because there were 2 off days since that last start, so he wanted him to stick to that normal schedule without having that extra day. Guys?
And once again, I love the fact that he doesn't have to pitch with velocity, showing that he's an artist, that he's just dotting his spots. His fastball, his four-seamer, it averages 92 miles an hour, and opponents are just 2 for 23 against it so far this season. So yes, he is feeling good, he's healthy, and the results are following.
Yeah, you know, with all the things that we expected in the rotation this year, you knew Mahle would be right there in the middle of the rotation and expected him to gobble up some innings, give the team a chance to win, etc. He's really stood out. I mean, he's been awfully good to this point.
Yeah, you could consider him a guy that maybe he pitches at the back of your rotation and he's an innings eater type of guy. You don't expect him to throw up, you know, the eye-popping spectacular numbers, but so far they have been there. He's done exactly that. And this Rangers pitching staff as a whole have really done their job and then some to this point in the season.
So off they go, all donning the number 42 tonight on Jackie Robinson night here in Arlington, Texas. Roof opened, by the way. We'll have to get into a little conversation about that as this Rangers offense is looking for some love. But first, it's about Tyler Mahle.
Yep, nice little breeze in here, and there's Mahle's numbers in 13 2/3 innings. Just a 109 batting average against. You see the 7 walks, nearly a strikeout per inning, and that nice looking ERA. There's the arsenal: 56% fastball, 26% splitty, 10% slider, a little bit of cutter on the side.
Well, let's take a look at the lineup you'll see today from the Angels. And how about the Angels? 9 wins, 6 losses. They currently lead the division by half game over the Rangers, and they'll start it off with left fielder Taylor Ward. Luis Rengifo at third base, bat second, and there's Mike Trout in the lineup batting third. Soler, d'Arnaud, and Shawnuel in the middle. Kyron Paris has been a heck of a story for the Angels. He's batting 7th. Joe Adell in center field, and the veteran Tim Anderson at shortstop batting 9th. Angels have gotten off to a great start under that man right there, Ron Washington, in his second year at the helm of these Angels. Great to see Washington, 72 years old. You would never know it. He's got all the energy in the world. He's currently the oldest manager going right now in Major League Baseball, but he's got more energy probably than just about all of them put together.
It's because he loves his job more than anybody in the world. He loves the game of baseball, loves teaching it, loves leading a Major League team.
So there you see a good, gorgeous shot with the roof open. This place so lovely when we can play under the skies and the normal weather conditions here. And for this Rangers bats, it's going to be something that they hope to enjoy today. Typically, this place plays a little bit smaller with the roof open. We get a little wind oftentimes blowing out into that right field corner in particular. We'll see how that affects play. Mahle's done a good job of keeping the ball in the yard so far this year. And his first offering is popped up by Taylor Ward. 1 pitch out to right field for Garcia. 1 out. So how about the difference? Well, the roof is open here in Arlington. A combined better than 10.5 runs per game. Now, it's only the 52nd time that we've seen this. But nearly 3 homers a game. And compare that to when it's closed at 8.8 runs and not even 2.5 home runs per game. It's a pretty substantial difference.
I was having a laugh with Marcus Semien during batting practice. I said, "You like hitting here with the roof open?" He said, I do like hitting, but if it was game time right now, I wouldn't. But we were looking out at the field at the time, and the shadows were just all across the field. It was one of those situations where if you are in the box, you are not going to see the spin on the ball out of the pitcher's hands. Better conditions right now, shady all across the field, but good place to see the baseball.
1 pitch, and that's fouled away by Rengifo. Switch hitting third baseman. There's the key area, right out right field, and the breeze out and around the ballpark is at about 8 miles per hour, but it's always a little funky because it then enters the stadium and then swirls around, but it blows out to right field for certain. 1-2 pitch, and Rengifo bounces it up the middle. Right there for it goes Seager, very well positioned, and Rengifo retired 2 away.
Good job by Seager. You see where he is starting on the left side of that bag, and then the second it's moved, he's right where he needs to be. He gets called that the modified shift. Hard hit ball up the middle back in the day. That's a hit. Seager right there. Good job by the Rangers coaching staff, and scouting report is well in hand.
Well, speaking of scouting reports, here's Mike Trout. No secrets with this guy. And he'll take one right on the outside corner for strike 1. Trout leading the league with 6 home runs. 3rd in the league with 14 RBIs. But you see the average, a 196 batting average for Trout. And I guess it's worth pointing out just because there are a lot of numbers that are way down around baseball. It's tough to hit these days, but he still scares you. 1-1. And that is just a bit high.
I guess that's why you talk about the importance of OPS. That's become kind of the new number that you look at over batting average. Just 196, but the OPS at 834. That's still above average by a good margin. Not quite the 990 career OPS that he carries, but anything over 800 is solid.
Mahle trying to get him here to complete a 1-2-3 first inning. Trout has struck out 14 times. And he watches that one high. It's a full count now. Last 4 years, injury riddled. It's been so hard to keep Trout on the field in Los Angeles. The payoff pitch to him, and he swings and misses. Fastball at 93. Mahle reaching back for just a little bit more. His first strikeout of the night. He does it against one of the greats of the game to complete a 1-2-3 first inning. Good job by Tyler Mahle. Perfect 1-2-3 top of the first inning. So now here come the Rangers. 9 wins, 7 losses. They are a half game back of the Angels in the American League West. Now the lineup today for Bruce Bochy has Marcus Semien back in there leading it off at second base after a couple of days off. Corey Seager at short. Josh Young batting in the 3-hole. It's Garcia, Kevin Pillar, and Jonah Heim in the middle. Higashioka does the catching. Duran starting at first base batting 8th, and then Leody Taveras.
Well, the man going up against that Rangers lineup is Yusei Kikuchi. First year with the Angels, just 18 innings in to his Angels career. ERA right at 5, 16 punch outs. And there's the arsenal. Fastball at 37%, slider at 35%. We'll mix in a changeup, curve, and a sweeper.
His first pitch on the way, and that one right in there. Strike one. Semien got the day off on Sunday in Seattle. Yesterday, a scheduled team day off. And so a rare opportunity for him to catch a little breather. And we'll see if maybe that aids him in getting things on track here a little bit offensively. It's been a slow start for the Rangers leadoff man. Kikuchi's 1-1, and that one is smashed out to center, but right to Joe Adell. One away.
Good swing from Marcus. You know that we love seeing him pull the ball, and that's kind of his bread and butter when he gets the head out, but that's staying on the baseball nicely. And that's kind of what you need to do when you haven't gotten off to the type of start that you want to do. You use the whole field, not trying to force the ball to the pull side.
Now Seager, and he goes after the first pitch. Roller right to second base, and Parrish throws him out. So Kikuchi with a couple of quick outs. And he'll get Josh Young now. Well, the Rangers in that series in Seattle, and they dropped all 3 to the Mariners. They got plenty of base runners in the first innings. I think they ended up stranding 8 runners in the 3 first innings, and it did not work out. So they got off to good starts against the opposing starter, but couldn't cash him in. That's my long way of saying to you, Murph, that you know, if Young is retired here, maybe that's the new plan. Breaking ball in there for strike 1 and 1.
Reverse psychology type of thing.
Right.
We'll just start slow, we'll end strong.
That's right. Try something different. Young, though, has been a tough guy for people to retire lately. Takes a strike. 1 and 2. He's checking in with a .407 average, a home run, and 6 RBIs. Kikuchi's 1-2. That's right down the middle. Strike 3 called, and so the Rangers go in order in their half of the first inning. 8 pitches needed for Kikuchi, so he looks sharp. It'll be a pitcher's duel here tonight.
Well, back with you, and perfect time to check out our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game. Tyler Mahle, and that fastball has been great. Just a 129 opponent slugging in his last 2 starts. Lowest in the majors with guys at 10 innings, up against the Angels, who have been slugging big time, hitting the fastball. Saw those 22 homers. So something's got to give here.
Well, good pitching usually can handle good hitting, right? I think that's kind of the adage. Soler takes a little off the plate. 2-0. Jorge Soler, the designated hitter tonight for the Angels. .241 average, 4 home runs. His first year in an Angels uniform, and he takes a strike. Mahle with a perfect first inning. Got the 1 strikeout of Trout. And Soler, a guy who definitely leans into the strikeout. I mean, he's up there usually swinging for power, and he'll sell out a little bit and accept some strikeouts. Good numbers for Mahle that first time through the lineup, as you can see. 3-1. And there's a swing and a miss. It's fouled away. So there, the Angels, they were aggressive in the offseason. I mean, they got right after it, after enduring the worst year in franchise history last year. 63 and 99. And one of their moves was to trade for Soler, add some power in the middle of the order. And he takes outside. That's ball 4. So a leadoff walk here in the second. A 7-pitch walk worked by Soler. That brings up Travis d'Arnaud. They went out and they signed this guy, d'Arnaud, who was actually the first move they made, along with their starter tonight, Yusei Kikuchi, and traded for Soler. They did all that before Thanksgiving. They added a couple of pieces after that as well, but they were looking to change things, and in a hurry in Southern California. Rough year last year. 1-1 on d'Arnaud.
It almost seems like this is the new precedent in baseball. Obviously, every team would love to do it, but instead of having your obvious guy that's your starter as a catcher, that's, you know, like back in the day, going to catch 140 to 150 games, and the guy on the bench gets the remainder of the time. These guys have such a grueling 162 game schedule that it's almost better to have like a 1A and 1B type of situation. So, you know, we're talking about d'Arnaud. Logan O'Hoppe is a tremendous young talent at catcher, and he's had some good games in his young career against the Rangers already.
And d'Arnaud strikes out here. First out of the second inning.
There's that fastball. Slider first, excuse me. And then he goes fastball at the top of the zone. Set him up with the off speed away, and then go with the hard stuff, that 4-seamer. Just high enough out of the zone. It looks so good since it's close to your eyes, but it's so hard to get on top of and make contact with.
So now Mahle gets one in there for a strike to Nolan Schanuel. And he's off to a nice start. There's a core of young players the Angels are excited about. Schanuel right there at the heart of that group, just 23 years old, a first-round pick out of Florida Atlantic. And I mean, he was 40 days after being drafted. He only played like 22 minor league games, and then boom, he was up in the big leagues. And they've seen some good stuff from him, and I think there's more power yet to come as he develops. Soler leading, and that's the other way out into left field. Long run out there, and a diving catch made by Pilar. The former Angel takes one away from Schanuel. Nice play.
Yeah, I think there's one thing that every person who's watched Major League Baseball in the last 10 years or so, if you've watched Kevin Pilar, if he's going to go into a dive, the ball is going to be caught. I mean, he covers so much ground as it is. He is a human highlight reel. That's definitely by far not one of the more difficult catches he has ever made, because he is all over the place. Easy little diving catch for him.
Yeah, that's routine for him, right?
Don't challenge me type of play. Just he's just showing the easy one. Don't even try to test his range.
So now Paris. Speaking of really good young players, and he has been maybe the story for the Angels these first couple of weeks of the season. And he'll take up 1-1. He's just 23 years old. Second round pick in 2019 out of high school in Oakley, California. Big open stance. And that's a little bit up. 2-1. The only guy with a more open stance so far this year anyway has been Rafael Devers. There's a pulled foul, 2-2. We saw Devers in that opening series this year with Boston, where his front foot, he had opened so far that his front foot ended up on the chalk line of the very outer reaches of the box. This one doesn't come quite as close that way, but it is, you can see that foot's way back. Big open stance. 2-2. It's fouled away.
Yeah, it is a significant difference from the way that he started last year. He's made some swing changes, and they've really paid off for him. We can dig into the detail at some point, but and I think I've been impressed with the way that a lot of these hitters, they want to chase that four-seam fastball up in the zone. I think he's more on time this year to where he's seeing the baseball. He didn't chase up.
It's that ball hard, but foul.
I think it was impressive the way that Mahle and so many of these pitchers, you know, back in the day, you get into a 2-1 count, you know a fastball's coming. Mahle went 2-1 splitter, and that's what you have to do with a guy like Paris. He's a young hitter. His numbers to the fastball are good. He's obviously slugging right there. So you've got to make sure that you do something. You've got to throw some off speed to keep him off your fastball and to keep him off balance.
Well, fastball not hittable up out of the zone. Yeah, he's also really deep in the box, right? I mean, he's so far back there. I would think that off-speed stuff, breaking balls and whatnot, would be a lot harder for him that far back. 3-2, and he swings and misses through the fastball. And Mahle picks up his third strikeout of the night. A chance now for this Rangers offense. Get a little something going. El Bombi leads it off when we come back. Rangers baseball on RSN is presented by Progressive Insurance. A grand slam for your budget. Visit progressive.com. And by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. And you know, Murph, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. How about that? That was pretty cool, looking at all the work that goes into the rodeo, which was here this weekend. How crazy is that? And now here we are playing baseball. And you'd be none the wiser had we not shown you those shots.
I'd like to know the exact amount of time. Like obviously we see it in a time lapse form, but like the complete amount of elapsed time that it takes from start to finish.
To Garcia, and he's in front of that changeup. Adolis, 216 average, a couple of home runs. Kikuchi was terrific in the first inning. And he gets strike 3 call. Garcia goes down looking. It's a delayed call there, but that was pretty clearly a strike.
Well, with Kevin Pillar walking to the plate, Allstate Good Hands replay. Here it is. Kevin Pillar, last inning. Seanwell tries to drop a ball into left field. Kevin Pillar says, not gonna happen. We've seen it so many times. He goes to the backhand.
This ball ripped down into left field. And Pilar has the Rangers' first hit of the night. And then the ball bobbled out there by Ward. Not that it really would have mattered. Pilar with a one-out double.
Well, he looks for something in the middle early on. It's a breaking ball. Ends up down and in. Drops the hands on it. Hard hit ball in the left field corner. Enough to force Taylor Ward to miss that baseball, and he cruises into second with the double.
Yeah, actually, I was just told that they're scoring at a single and then the error. I don't know, for my money, that's a double, but I get it. He didn't play it perfectly. I just don't know that it would have mattered either way. Maybe.
That's a good question. I guess that you think it's routine enough where a average big league fielder comes through that and needs to come up throwing to second. But you can't assume that he's going to get to second, but with Pilar's speed, you think that he would.
Yeah, I feel like a ball that deep into either corner, that I guess I just lean to the batter runner, right? I think he's probably, I would certainly think he would try for it. Heim fouls that one back. So then that goes to the question that can you assume an out when it's not a forced play? And so I would say no. Now, normally I don't get into a whole lot of this official scoring stuff, but just my thoughts on that. Thankless job, the official scoring gig. Pilar, though, all that matters is he's out there in scoring position. And Heim strikes out swinging. 2 gone. So here we are again. And when I say that, you're like, well, where? What do you mean? Well, you got a runner in scoring position for the Rangers, and this was their undoing in Seattle over the weekend. They were 5 for 26 with runners in scoring position in that series against the Mariners. And now it's going to be in the hands of Higashioka. Kikuchi is definitely distracted by Pilar out there at second. That's pretty clear. And his first pitch in there for a strike to Kyle. 8 pitches in the first inning. Pretty efficient. Trying to work around the hit and the error this inning. And that ball's hit hard out to left field. Ward going back, and he makes the catch. Good swing, good contact there by Higashioka, but nothing to show for it. We've played 2 innings so far tonight. No score.
Beautiful shot of this Globe Life field here on our Defy wire cam. Tyler Mahle back on the mound for the Texas Rangers. He's really had a bounce back season after what was a rough first outing against the Boston Red Sox when he wasn't able to get through 2 innings. But when we spoke with him about the biggest differences he's seen in himself in these last 2 outings, he says, I just have more trust in my stuff and my ability to live over the plate. He said in that Boston series, I was just trying to strike everybody out, but now I realize that my stuff is good enough. I don't need to do that. And he said he even saw in that Boston game that the swings that hitters were taking when he was in the zone, he realized that he was good enough to be in the zone, but he just wasn't doing it. And he said even in spring, he realized that his stuff was back to normal and all he needed to go out and do was pitch. But in that first season against the Red Sox, he said he just felt a little bit jumpy because, they're supposed to be a pretty good team this year, and it's his debut for the season, guys.
Well, and consider the fact that he only threw 12 2/3 innings last year. So it's been a long road back for him. And he's still getting the innings under his belt to feel comfortable and remind himself of what it feels like to be out on a major league mound.
Yeah, I think, largely the same thing goes for DeGrom. With what we've seen early on this year, that there are going to be moments where, they probably aren't feeling their sharpest as Adell loops one out into center, and that drops in. Joe Adell with the Angels' first hit of the game. And so their speedy center fielder is on now for Tim Anderson. Boy, Mahle, the last couple of times out, he's been really good. And the veteran will deal with the opposing veteran here, Tim Anderson. You see the start he's had. And Anderson, he's been well traveled here the last couple of years. Now still just 31 years old, but 8 years with the White Sox, where he was a 2-time All-Star, won a Silver Slugger in 2020. But last year, limited time in Miami. Signed with the Angels in the offseason, and he takes a strike here, 1-1. Always been a guy who strikes out a lot, more than it seems like most folks are happy with. And that's one thing, but the other part of it is he never walks. He just kind of refuses to do it. He fouls that one back, 1-2. But he does have a little power. He won a batting title while with the White Sox. That was about 6 years ago now. He hit .335 in 2019. Adell off first. 1-2. That's out.
Now that's the interesting thing. You think in baseball today, and there's so much, put into on-base percentage and walking. How can a guy keep a big league job if he's not walking very much? Well, back in the day, it was easy because when you hit .335 and you win a batting title, in the next 3 years behind that, on top of that, you hit .300, then you can get that on-base percentage. .340, .350. I think his highest was .357 the year that he won the batting title. But once that average starts to dip, and it has the last few years, it's tough to keep that OBP up there.
3-2 pitch, and he fouls that one away. Adell was on the move. Another long at bat for yet another Angels hitter. This will be the 7th pitch coming here to Anderson. Adell leaning. There he goes, and this is in the air out to right field. Garcia takes a couple of steps back. One away. So now the lineup turns over for Taylor Ward. Second time through for Mahle now. Got Ward in the first inning. Got him to fly out to right field. Oh, pretty quick turn. Ward, an important cog to this Angels lineup. Mahle really trying to hold Adell with a long pause. Now a bouncer to shortstop. Second one on to first. Double play. Hard hit. Taken on the one hop. And that gets Mahle out of the inning.
Pitcher's best friend right here. Great pick by Seager. Flip over to Semien. Complete the double play.
Well, welcome in. Scoreless game. Jackie Robinson Day. How about that? Even some of the fans getting into it. Number retired throughout baseball since 1997. 50 years after Jackie broke the Keller barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And now Ezekiel Duran swings through strike one. Kind of a key inning here, Murph. The Rangers need to do a little something, make Kikuchi work a little bit. For one, that would help. This one lifted out to right field, and Trout will settle underneath for a 2-pitch out to start the inning.
I was going to say too, if you keep up with baseball stories over the years, you might want to, pencil in Zeke to be your pick to click tonight, because Jake Burger was originally, Boch wanted to put him in the starting lineup, but he's working with a little stomach bug, so he's got the night off, and Zeke's got the start at first base. So many times when that happens, you hear stories, so-and-so wasn't supposed to start, but then he ends up getting the nod and goes 2 for 3 with a homer, or, a decisive hit in the game. His time might be coming tonight.
It may be. Sometimes the guy fills in. This is a 1-strike pitch to Taveras, swung on a miss. And next thing you know, 2,131 games later, he'll take another day off. Tavares asked for time. That's when Lou Gehrig replaced Wally Pipp in the lineup with the Yankees many moons ago and ended up setting the all-time record, since broken by Cal Ripken Jr. The 0-2. That one's a little bit in, but not by much. I mean, that miss right there was by, well, if it missed at all, by millimeters. 1-2. And Leote shoots it foul. Murph, did you had a chance over the years, right, to wear number 42 on a Jackie Robinson day?
Did. I don't know results, you know, in terms of how I did as a player, but obviously, kind of as we were talking in the pregame show, or excuse me, in the open, just what a sense of pride and how cool it is to wear that number on your back when you know how much it means to the game of baseball, how inspirational it is, just the amount of bravery and fight that came with it.
Fly ball to left field, and Tavares retired, 2 away.
And I guess in so many situations, I say fight, yes, fight, but also in so many situations, a lack of fight, probably turning the other cheek.
Well,
didn't necessarily want to.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. 2 outs. Here's Simeon. So many years ago, I got to know Monty Irvin really well. Monty, former Negro League player, eventually was signed by the New York Giants, was a great New York Giant. Well, Monty was the guy. He was the guy who was going to break the color barrier.
Wow.
But his owner, Effa Manley, here's a strike. Effa Manley, she was a female owner, owned the Newark Eagles. She didn't want him to go. And he'd served in the military and came back with, at the time they called it shell shock. We know it now as PTSD, but he felt like he wasn't the same guy coming back. He fought in the Battle of the Bulge.
Wow.
But anyway, he was a tremendous, regarded as probably the best all-around player in the Negro Leagues at the time. Bouncing ball shortstop, and a good play by Anderson. He gets Marcus Semien. But it was Jackie Robinson, and for the reason you mentioned, the temperament, the intelligence, the athleticism, allowed him to become the man who broke the barrier in Major League Baseball, 1947. Well, our Chevy Under the Hood tonight, we look at Chris Young, Rangers president of baseball operations. We know tremendous two-sport athlete at Princeton, both on the basketball team and, of course, baseball. Graduated in 2002 with a Bachelor of Arts in Politics, and his senior thesis, The Impact of Jackie Robinson on Social Prejudice. So really amazing how CY would have been tapped into that, of course, academically back in the day. I think we need to sit down with him and hear a little more about that thesis. Did you ever write a thesis?
I did not. How about you?
No, I did not. I just kind of snuck out the side door. I was like, we're good. Thanks again, everybody.
I just left early.
Rengifo leading it off here in the 4th inning for the Angels. Then Trout and Soler. And that one is up. So Mahle, 3 scoreless so far. 3 strikeouts. And that double play helped him to end last inning. He kind of needed a little something to get him a little bit closer to on track in terms of pitch count, because they've worked him a little bit here. 3-1 now to Rengifo. This is now his 5th 3-ball count here tonight. Pitch on the way, and that's fouled back. What was your major?
A major in marketing.
Okay.
And a minor
in
communication. So I'm using the minor.
Hey, you were a real fancy pants. So you're really hammering it out. And a major and a minor.
I feel like I've talked to you about your major before, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Communication, buddy.
Communication. All right.
Yep. 3-2. And that sneaks in the side door, and Rengifo is down looking. A little frustration on his part, but that was a really good pitch.
One of the most difficult pitches to stay on. It's a cutter away, 84 miles an hour. Starts on that outer white line. You think it's going to be away. You stay on it. The last second you get that late life, and it ends up a strike. Rengifo shows his disappointment, as most hitters do.
Where are we going here? Well, they're meeting out near second base. So pause the game for a moment here. Well, anywho, I don't want to. We're really proud and excited by what we're doing here on RSN, Rangers Sports Network. We try not to get in the way, but that was our dirt cam, and we'll just a little more work on that to get that ready, hopefully for tomorrow. There you see it. It's, you know, a good eye to find that it was sticking out and causing a problem. Just another toy that we're trying out here on the network. How cool is that?
It's cool, and the funny thing is it looks exactly like a sprinkler head. You know, like I was thinking it was a sprinkler head that just was supposed to be laying down and they could pop it up whenever they wanted to. Not the case.
It seems like somebody's watching me. Here's Mike Trout now, and that one just a little bit off the outside corner. Trout struck out swinging in the first inning. And bounces that one foul. Well, Murph, you played with the Angels briefly. You played with Mike Trout, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, as a fan, seeing him back in there again, you know, on the one hand, you know, it's nice when you don't have to deal with him because he's awfully good.
Right.
On the other hand, it is sort of important for the game that we have the Mike Trouts in the game. But playing with him, did you have a sense at the time just how ridiculous he is?
Let's see, this was 2015, so he broke in 11 and just got a little bit of time. His first full, I guess it wasn't even his first full year. He started in the minor leagues in 2012 when he won the Rookie of the Year and just had an amazing rookie year. So 13 his first full year, 14, 15. That would have been, I guess, his third full year and basically, you know, his fourth season in the big leagues. He was something special already.
Yeah.
The tricky part was, by the time I got traded in late July, so August, ironically ended up being, to that point, the worst month of his career. I think he had a good few games right after I got traded over, and I'm like, well, where's the Mike Trout that I've been playing against all these years? Well, sure enough, he showed up in September. I think it ended up being his first 40 home run season, but he did some crazy things. He hit a ball, home run to the opposite field at Target Field. I had never seen a right-handed hitter do that before with that big wall out there in right field. He robbed Jesus Montero of a home run, and I had never seen a guy get up. It was one of those where he dug his spike into the wall, and the average guy gets up maybe a few feet over the wall. He must have gotten 5 to 6 feet over the wall to rob the home run. It was obvious at the time that he does things that a lot of people, the average player just can't do.
So strong and athletic. Yeah, you're a little bit, I don't know if you were old enough at the time to watch and appreciate Bo Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
For sure.
Right? That's what it kind of reminds me of when he's at his peak. And of course, he's sustained it for longer than Bo Jackson.
Well, and the interesting thing for me is the scouting report that we would always get when we would go into our hitters meeting. You know, we would talk about the pitchers, we would talk about what the opposing defense looked like, and we would always talk about the outfield arms and who we could run on and who we couldn't. And his arm was always considered like below average. And there he goes, showing off another tool. He can steal bases as well, even at 33 years old. He does it all. But I think even when I started playing with him, and I remember his arm a little bit playing against him, but then when I was on his team, I'm like, that's not a below average or an average arm. Like, that is above average. So you're talking about a legitimate 5-tool player. That just makes the game look really easy.
Oh, roller up the middle and had Trout a little confused. He was spawning upstream there for a second. And I guess just trying to stay out of trouble. If that one was to be had behind him, he could have been doubled up, I suppose.
Well, I guess the interesting thing for me is he froze right off the bat. You look at him right here, the ball is to his left. And you should know, once you're on second, you check where everybody's playing. And I think he should have known off the top of his head with that ball to his left that he can advance. I think he kind of pulled his head and he was frustrated as he pulled into third because he knew he did not make the right decision.
That may have saved a run right there. Now, can Mahle figure out d'Arnaud to get out of this inning? Maybe a double play, or certainly he'd take another strike out of d'Arnaud. He punched him out in the second inning. So they're on the corners with only one out, and there's a swing and a miss. Mahle, he maintains a really calm exterior at all times. 30 years old now. Second year now with the Rangers. 0-2, and that's off the plate. He was not trying to go that far away with it. So d'Arnaud will see the 20th pitch of the inning for Mahle with his next offering. His second inning tonight that's gone 20 or more pitches. And he'll step off.
Yeah, and back to that base running play also, I think the speed, the velocity of the ball off the bat. If you know the ball's not hit well, you know that you can get over to third base. If it's a rocket, even if it's to your left, sometimes you do have to freeze and get back to second.
1-2 pitch fouled away. d'Arnaud is off to a slow start at the plate, a 111 average coming in. But he is a threat as well. We were talking about him earlier, the fact that they now have two really good catchers on this team. That's just off. But better execution. d'Arnaud think a little bit harder about that one. Two. And did he go? Yes, he did. Didn't matter. That's a strike either way. d'Arnaud strikes out, 2 away.
Mahle just freezes him at 94 miles an hour. That is right down the middle. So I don't know exactly what d'Arnaud was looking for. Maybe he had a splitter programmed into his mind. He's thinking if it starts low, it's going to end up out of the strike zone. Well, that four-seam action just carried it right to the bottom side of the middle part of the zone.
Huge strikeout. Now Schanuel the batter. 2 out. And he'll take a strike right on the outside corner. A walk and a base hit this inning for the Angels. It's their first real threat of the night. And Mahle jumps ahead 0-2. Looks like he's got Schanuel guessing a little bit. Nashioka out in front of the plate. Communicate to the infield. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Oh, 2. Oh, did he go? Wow.
My goodness. I mean, that was a great pitch. And I was about to get excited because that's a great way I mean, it was a masterful job of pitching these first three. I guess you could say it looked like he missed the spot since Higashioka was set up away and he pulled it and missed in. So I guess there's where the missed call came from.
1-2, and he struck him out swinging. Mahle strikes out the side to get out of a treacherous fourth inning.
Nasty splitty on what was just a well-pitched at-bat to strike out Schanuel to end the inning. Back with you, and here's our Ford leaderboard. The usual suspects here: Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia, and Marcus Semien. Your hard-hit balls leaders at Globe Life Field since 2022. No surprise that Corey Seager is leading the way with 336. He's got 16 so far here in 2025.
He shoots the first pitch foul here in the fourth inning. Yeah, he's gone with this open stance lately, and that's about the time that things have kind of turned for Seager. It was about the time he leaned into this open stance that he's been using. Fiddled with it a little bit at spring training. Dabbled a couple of times early this year, but lately that's been his go-to. He takes outside.
I mean, personally, I like it. I mean, I'm going to like anything Corey Seager does because he knows his swing well enough. He's going to get results. But I think I like it just if I can visualize it personally. I think so many of these hitters, and we talk about getting into your back leg and your back hip that supplies your power, kind of gathering yourself. I would envision that would help Corey compared to where he used to be. That'll help him consistently get to his backside and be in a power position when his front foot lands.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, so turning that foot in like that.
Yeah, I mean, turning the foot in is more, I guess, to make sure that your front side is not flying open, because naturally when you stride toward the pitcher, that front foot, that toe is naturally going to open up and start to make movement toward the pitcher. But if you get to the point where your toe is pointing at the pitcher, the rest of your body is going to follow.
Well, he works a walk to start this fourth inning and laid off a pretty quality pitch right there. First walk issued by Kikuchi. And it brings up Josh Young. Well, I was looking at the team stats today. The Rangers, among the 30 major league teams, and by a pretty clear margin, drawn the fewest walks in baseball. It's only the 36th walk that they have drawn this year. Really kind of wild. Seager not a big threat to be moving anytime soon. The Rangers have a hot hand at the plate though in Young. And he takes outside 2-0.
I guess the Rangers, the hit numbers overall are not really what they would expect them to be at this point in the season either. So you're not walking, you're not getting hits, so you're lacking base runners. And as you spoke earlier, on the road trip, they struggle to hit with runners in scoring positions, so you're not getting a lot of base runners. You're not hitting once they get on. We know that's going to change. You know, we talk all the time about how hitting comes and goes. You know, you win with pitching and defense. And I really feel like things are going to turn the corner as a hitter, knowing once you get into your routine in spring training, the weather warms up, it gets hot, and then the season starts. You're playing night games, and a lot of them are in cold weather cities. As the road trip was. You're playing in Chicago, you're playing in Seattle. Well, we're back in Texas. Obviously, we're playing indoors here. It's nice tonight, but even the next road trip is to Sacramento and San Francisco. Those are more kind of like, even though it's not Texas type of weather, it's kind of like spring training type of weather. You know, it'll be mid-70s or so. It might be a little bit chilly at night like it is tonight, but the ball's going to start flying.
Count stays 2-2 on Young. Law of averages says that the ball will start flying, and it also would indicate that the Rangers will probably go on quite a little tear. Those numbers are interesting to me.
They're interesting to me also. So I saw a similar statistic across baseball about offensive numbers, and general offensive numbers are better, you know, above 50 degrees. Now the Rangers, their batting average and their overall offensive numbers aren't great, but what is important is their record is. Oh, you know, 70 degrees.
Perfect. Roof open, and another thing with that roof open, we talked about it earlier. Generally speaking, there's more offense. A beautiful sky tonight. Garcia goes right after strike one here, chasing one up out of the zone. Kikuchi with 4 strikeouts so far. And now time called.
It sounds like Kikuchi has been messing with his arm angle a little bit. It was higher when he was early in his career, and then it started to drop a little bit more. Dropped it again with the Astros.
There's a pop up on the right side of the infield, and that's the second out of the inning.
And then I think, from what I've heard, the Angels are trying to get that arm angle back up a little bit to make his slider more effective. He hasn't gotten quite the chase rate and the amount of swings and misses on the slider. The fastball still seems like it's been pretty effective, but you're talking about a guy that, you know, they made a pretty good little investment in. You look at his numbers last year with Toronto, and they weren't anything to be impressed with. I believe that the Rangers faced him for his last start as a Blue Jay. And at the time, his ERA was slightly under 5, and I think the Astros, they gave up a lot for him. So you're thinking, why did they give up so much to get what seems to be a guy with mediocre numbers? Well, whatever the advanced analytics showed him, you know, they took him, and he took it and he ran with it, because his ERA the rest of the way was 2.7. So he had a good remainder of the season. And here's the delivery. You can check out the arm angle. It looks like it's about a 3/4 delivery, where you can be effective with your fastball and your slider.
1-1, and that's fouled away. One of the things the Astros did with him was they asked him to throw the slider a lot more. And you know, so sometimes it's always interesting to me when teams make a move, like you say, seem like they gave up a lot for him. Well, they needed pitching, number one, but number two, sometimes teams have a hunch. Maybe if we did something a little differently, he'd be even better. And they were right. They got really good work out of him last year. 2-2 here to Pilar. Pilar, by the way, in the second inning, they have adjusted the scoring, and it's now a double that he hit in the second. He'd certainly take another one of those right here. No error for Ward. I understand he went into the dugout and called upstairs real quick. Error? What? I was never going to get him. 2-2. Oh, man. Strike 3 called, and there goes Pilar and the Rangers in the 4th inning. So, another man left. All right, 2-4 innings tonight. It is 0-0.
Time now for our Yuengling flight cam. Tyler Mahle has been at it again tonight. Strikeout pitch has been working in a variety of ways all across the strike zone, mainly with that fastball. That was a backdoor cutter. Another fastball here, and this just a nasty pitch that ended last inning to Nolan Schanuel. I mean, he's got some good stuff, and we talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Fastball average is right around 92. We've seen it as high as 94 tonight, but he's got some nasty stuff to go with it, with the cutter and the splitter. Lots of awkward swings tonight.
Yeah, his stuff, it's surprising just how many bad swings it gets, just because he's not so overpowering. Man, it sneaks up on guys. 6 strikeouts so far tonight. Got the 1 double play. He deals with the bottom third of the order for the Angels here in the 5th inning. Here it comes. Big swing and a miss by Paris. There you go. The fastball's been doing most of the work tonight. The cutter, the splitter, both working well. Paris struck out in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. What a start for him, and frankly for the Angels. The Angels have been scoring runs. They've been hitting a lot of home runs, and they came in with a half-game lead in the division. But there's a swing and a miss, and Paris strikes out. 7th strikeout for Maui.
I believe this looked like a splitter. Yep, there's the grip. And watch this thing dive off the table as it approaches the strike zone. It looks like a fastball, and boom, drops right below the hitting zone. And that is the nature of a split finger. It looks like a fastball for a really long time. Just as it approaches the plate, you're off balance and you're swinging through it.
Adell fouls off strike 1. Is that the toughest pitch for a hitter? A well-executed splitter? Is there a tougher pitch?
I think so, because like the changeup was always a tough one for me, and those two are very similar. The changeup runs away from a left-handed hitter a little bit more, but there are times, depending on the pitcher, where you can see on a circle change 3 of the fingers that flare out. On the split finger, since those 2 fingers stay right behind the baseball, you can never pick anything like that up. And so it, you talk about the window that it comes out at, and it's called a split finger fastball. So it looks like a fastball until the very last second. It is really hard for your eyes to pick that pitch up. I mean, look at fastball, 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 and then it dives at the very last second.
2 gone after Adell rolls out, and now a little squibber first base side, and Mahle fields his position with the help of Duran. He completes a 1-2-3 inning. Just 7 pitches needed in the 5th. Tyler Mahle threw 5 shutouts so far here tonight. Even the Rangers in it, no score.
Well, here we are, April 15th, game 1 of this series, and we got 2 more for you the next 2 days. Angels are in town versus the Rangers here at Globe Life Field. It continues through Thursday. Scan the QR code or visit Rangers.com to get your tickets. You just saw Mike Trout there. He's back and he is healthy. Rangers back home trying to get their bats going.
Heim, Higashioka, and Duran in this 5th inning. This has been fun with the roof open, watching the ball fly all over the yard. Wait a minute. Scratch that.
The roof is open.
Oh yeah, it is. Both these offenses today playing in quicksand. Usually it's a help. With the roof open, the Rangers average almost 7 runs per game here. At least in the last 18 games they've played with the roof open. But tonight, we've got a bit of a pitcher's duel going between Mahle and Kikuchi. 2-1 pitch. And Jonah takes low. Heim DHing today. Switch hitter has to bat right-handed against the lefty. It has traditionally not been his best side. But we've seen some good swings this year from the right side. And now he takes a walk. So a leadoff walk in the 5th inning. And that gives us a chance to catch up with Baylor Scott and White Health.
Get the back care you need and get back to life fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
Healthcare that keeps you in motion. It's not complicated.
All right, Kyle Higashioka. 0 for 1 today. He swings and misses. Rangers 0 for 5 with a runner on base so far tonight. We talked about their numbers with runners in scoring position in that series in Seattle. Today, just getting a man on has been kind of like kryptonite at times. Higashioka, boy, lays off a really good pitch right there. 1-1. Modest lead for Heim, but Kikuchi doesn't like it. Steps off. He does have 2 steals. One pitch, and that's the other way, foul. Strike 2.
We were talking about O'Hoppe and d'Arnaud, the catching core for the Angels. Well, similarly, Heim and Higashioka for the Rangers. A 1A and a 1B. And you would think that most major league teams would want to go in the same direction. Probably back in the day, it's, you know, you're not going to see a lineup that uses its catcher and its backup catcher as the DH, you know,
right,
in the same lineup. Usually that backup catcher was a guy that could catch and throw and handle a pitching staff, but he's not going to bring much offense.
Not the case here with Higashioka. He has power. Heim running. A swing and a miss. Throw goes to second base. Not anywhere near in time. And Jonah Heim with his 3rd stolen base of the year. Wow.
Well, if Heim's able to come across and score, this is going to be just an impressive trip around the bases. He was in a 2-1 count, and he got a changeup that he laid off of.
Yeah, bad news. They're going to call batter's interference. Ooh.
Well, never mind. So that is just bad luck.
Yeah, you could watch the swing and then the follow through here. He came through just a little bit too far, and the follow through. Oh, good job.
Yeah.
Good job by d'Arnaud to make that follow through a little more dramatic, but it was kind of the right call. So no stolen base for Jonah. And now a backdoor curveball in there for a strike to Duran. But I'm with you. That would have been a really meaningful base right there, especially in a game like tonight, where it's pretty clear that this could be a low-scoring, like 1-run game. Fouled off. 1-2 the count on Duran. I believe the scoring on that would be an unassisted put out for the catcher d'Arnaud on the catcher's interference. So like a 2 unassisted caught stealing, which seems kind of goofy, but pretty sure that's how that works. d'Arnaud sets up away. The 1-2 pitch, that's downstairs. Man, Kikuchi, the rate he's going tonight, Murph, I mean, he could throw 12 innings if needs be. Goodness gracious.
He's having some pretty easy innings. And that's why, man, he just caught some luck there with Heim being caught at second base, or with the interference.
I pop up out into right field. Trout wants it, and he's got it. The inning is over. Tough break for the Rangers. We're through 5 innings now. Still no score.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field, where we are still scoreless here at the top of the 6th inning. Jack Leiter told us today that the blister on the middle finger of his throwing hand is continuing to heal and show progress, and Bruce Bochy told us that he could be cleared to come off the IL when he's scheduled to on Friday if all goes well. He threw a 35-pitch bullpen on Sunday with glue on it, and we asked him what type of glue, and he said it was basically just Gorilla Glue. It seemed like he didn't love the feel of that, so he's going to go back to the Band-Aid when he throws a live BP on Thursday. Said he feels like that has worked well from him because he can continue to heal even though it feels a little off. He still can continue to work on his arm. But the scary thing is he says all it takes is for it to rip off and then you're set back another 20 days. But so far so good, and it seems like he could be back here soon. Guys.
This one lined up the middle for a base hit to begin the 6th inning. Ward is on for the Angels. Well, it's basically been good news for Jack Leiter. The blister and the finger, they've responded really well and almost immediately. It's one of those things you keep checking up with a guy, going over to his locker, and you almost feel weird about it. All right, see your hand. And he's got to show you where that blister is, but it looks a lot better. He's still a little, I can tell there's a little hesitancy there on his part. Just not real sure how it's going to respond, but the Band-Aid does seem to work for him. Just it won't work in a game. You can't use it in a game.
Yeah, good call by the Rangers and shutting him down to make sure that he is 100%, especially here in April. It's early in the season. That's the last thing that you want a guy that's throwing the ball really well to have to deal with for an extended period of time. So get him on the IL. Let's get that thing healed. Similar to, Wyatt Langford. He's already running around. He looks good out there. Looks like he could be returning at some point, fairly soon.
And 2 on Rengifo. Yeah, watch him run the bases today. Langford looked like he could lead the league in tackles within a week. Man, he is just such a big, strong dude. And when he was running the bases today, looked like he was ready to take some people out.
It's like you watch him on TV and you've seen like his squat numbers or read about him. And so you know that he's got a big lower body, that he's got that wide base, and it's just his legs kind of pour out of his uniform. Well, today was the biggest his upper body has ever looked. And you and I were kind of laughing, looking at each other, thinking about, all right, can you imagine what it'd be like on a football field to get hit by him? Ooh. Especially as, I'll never forget last spring training. He had already put up all those numbers. I got to spring training. I'm like, I want to see this guy hit homers. And then I watched him run down the line. I'm like, I didn't know he could do that.
Line drive out into left field. Pilar is there. 1 away.
All right, let's get to StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. Mike Trout has haunted the Rangers over the years. Well, looks like Tyler Mahle in that first at bat anyways, the great equalizer, using all portions of the strike zone, a few different pitches. Eventually just goes after him right down the middle to get the strikeout. Used that 4-seamer. He mixed his eye level a little bit and finished him off at the top of the strike zone. Does it again.
That's where Trout can be at. He historically a little trouble with that fastball in the upper part of the zone. 0 for 1 with a walk. This is Mahle's 3rd time through the lineup. And he jumps ahead. No balls and 2 strikes here. It's amazing, you think, of somebody with Trout's record and all the success he's had and how intimidating he is. And Mahle just blows 2 fastballs by him at 92 miles per hour. Well, now he can waste one if he wants. We can go right at him again. Looks like they're heading low. And that one's fouled away.
I guess that was a splitter that could be considered a dangerous pitch, the way that he swung right by, right through those 2 fastballs. Seemed to be late with his timing, so even though he's Mike Trout, you want to be careful. You don't want to speed up his bat too much. So maybe the splitter got him off the fastball and he's going to go right back to the fastball.
I'll check in with Ward first. That would be my guess, right?
Yep.
Don't go right after him again.
And put it right where you've been putting it, just slightly above the belt or maybe slightly below the letters. Get some chase. That uphill swing working. He'll swing right underneath it.
Ward with the lead. 0-2. And a swing and a miss. He got him on the splitter. Shows you what we know. 8th strikeout.
Well, here we go. Let's take another look. There's that fastball first pitch. He swings right through it. There's another one, a splitter. Now you don't know where he's going as hitter. We are obviously predicting the fastball, but he goes back to the splitter. It's an even better one. That's the strikeout splitter at the bottom to get the swing and miss.
Now Soler, I should say his 9th strikeout tonight. 9 punch outs for Mahle. It's been a couple of years since he's amassed a strikeout number quite this large. A swing and a miss, and Soler can't catch up to it. It's 93 right at the top, but the way hitters react, it's like it's 99 to 102. Boy, does he look good. Mahle's 1-1, and that's a strike. The cutter catches the corner. His last couple of starts have been dazzling. This one might be the best yet. Here's the 1-2, and that's low. I mean, 7 innings last time in Chicago, allowed a run on just 2 hits. He went 5 shutout prior to that against Tampa Bay. but he's 1 out away from 6 shutout innings here against the Angels. 2-2. Got him swinging. A fastball at 95. Wow.
Dialed that one up a little bit. Well, Tyler Mahle has had a fantastic night. Gets Trout on the split finger fastball. He reaches back for something extra to retire Soler on the strikeout as well.
Well, our aerial coverage tonight provided by Jack Daniels. And now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mahle with 6 shutout innings tonight against these Angels. He has been just terrific. Kikuchi hasn't flinched either. As he comes out for the 6th inning. Okay, so that looks to be it for Mahle. And Kikuchi's first pitch here, up and out for ball 1.
Ooh, I was going to say, it's a good time to drop a bunt down. No offense going on in this game. Hits are hard to come by. Good time to just, I don't know, change things up a little bit. Lay a bunt down. Get the third baseman to throw it into the right field corner.
I'm with you. 1-0. He's showing bunt again. Drops it first base side. Kikuchi's down the hill, and he does throw it past first base. Taveras reaches for the bunt single.
That's why it's so important to have a lot of different tools in your bag. Leody can bunt. He's got speed. And what a well-placed ball. You see where Kikuchi was. One, as a lefty, you've got to make a full turn to throw that ball to first base. But also, once his head whips around, he's got to throw that ball perfectly because he knows that Taveras is in the running lane. And he's got to throw a strike on the run. That's hard to do as a pitcher.
Semien the batter now. And he takes outside. Let's check in with Laura.
Well, guys, Leody's been working a lot on bunting, specifically on their traject machine, because he says it's much more helpful to work on there because instead of just a ball coming out of the machine at 97 miles per hour, whatever it is, you can actually see the pitcher's arm action. So it's much easier to work on the timing that way. He told me at the end of last season that
he's running and he's got his 6th stolen base. He'll hop up, head to third on the wild throw into center field. So a bunt single and the speed kills. A steal and an E2.
Now, I'm kind of talking about further what Laura was saying. Like he was working on those bunting skills in spring training. And when you have that type of speed, you also need to use it as game-changing speed in situations like this. Not just when the team is up 2 or 3 and needs an insurance run, but when you are working to get your first run of the game and you have the type of speed where you can make something happen, force the action, make the defense make the play. And we're seeing the Angels throw the ball around a little bit because that's exactly what speed does.
So now the infield has to come in, and that gives Semien just a little bit more of an advantage.
And guys, this is exactly what Bruce Bochy wanted to see from Taveras at the end of last season. He said, I want to see you setting the table for Semien and Seager.
2-1, and that ball is smashed deep out to left field. Ward back near the wall, and he will leap up and make the catch. Taveras tags, he scores. That's about as long as you can hit a sacrifice fly to left field, and the Rangers will take it, up 1-0.
That would have been nice if that amounted for 2 runs for the Rangers. Graded back by Marcus Semien. But either way, little momentum gained, doing the little things. You love seeing the manufactured runs. Baseball players doing the little things to be successful.
1 out now, the bases are empty for Seager. Well, ask Murph and he shall get. He wanted a little something to mix it up. Maybe a bunt. Maybe they would make a mistake, throw a ball away. Well, he steals second. They throw it away. Gets to third. And then employing just good team baseball. A sac fly gets him home. Seager deep out to left field. That's into the corner. Ward is way over, and that is just beyond his reach. Either is beyond his reach, or the wall was just a little too much within his reach. You heard some footsteps going into that thing, and I don't blame him.
That ball just kept fading right away from him. Tough one. I don't think he could have gotten to that. He would have had to go really hard into that wall and jump up and take it before it hit.
Yeah, 2-1. It's low. Seager's already walked once today. Rangers, in fact, have worked 2 walks off Kikuchi. You need to understand if the lefty was trying to be careful with Corey here. Here he comes. Oh, he waffles one in there for a strike. Full count. Payoff, and that's smashed down to first, and it bangs off of Shotwell, and Seager's on. That's an infield hit with a blast off the bat of 112 miles per hour.
This ball is absolutely blistered. When you got that turf in front of you, it's only going to scoot even more. Shotwell gets ready. But man, you've got to have some quick reflexes to play this ball. Even as a major leaguer, these guys are used to seeing that exit velo daily, but that's a tough ground ball to get your glove on.
So Kikuchi gets a visit here. Rangers putting a little pressure on the left-hander with a 1-0 lead. You know, the other cool thing about that run scoring this inning, we saw that Malley's evening is done. He got the hug from Mike Maddox in the dugout between the top and bottom half of this inning. So, you know, his day's done. They get that run in time anyway for it to count for his night. So he leaves with a lead no matter how this thing works out.
Good point. You always want to get that starting pitcher a win. So great job by this offense. And I hope, if anything, that moments like this give Leody Taveras the confidence moving forward. You know, you could say at times in the past that maybe he shouldn't have run as much as he should in a situation like this, and hopefully he's learning to be aggressive in the right situations, because he does have that game-changing type of speed.
Yeah, he's now second in the league with 6 stolen bases. And he scored the big run here tonight. Josh Young 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. One looking, one swinging. And he pops this one up. Right side of the infield, and Shotwell makes a catch. 2 away. We have time now for Hyundai.
A blind spot that's never out of sight. How it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
Now El Bombi. And our crew wants to get together here. Now the only thing I can think of here, Murph, is there was a little contact with Seager and Shotwell when the ball was popped up. But I don't know. I don't feel like it was material, do you? It seemed incidental, right? It seemed like it was just.
I didn't see it, honestly, and
oh, looks like they may be calling Bruce Bochy out here to explain something to him. Alfonso Marquez, the crew chief, heads over there. Now they're talking to Kikuchi, so I wonder if there's some sort of, maybe it's something entirely different. Well, let's see. Marquez, so he's going to ask for a review, maybe a crew chief review.
On the previous play, we had runners interference Therefore, he is out, and we place the batter at first base.
Okay, so it was the interference. And so what happens then is Young fundamentally just replaces Seager at first.
And there we see the replay. We'll take another look. I mean, once again, we're talking about a technicality, whether it's interference behind home plate or interference right there. And I guess, you know, you didn't see much of an argument from Bruce Bochy. It's either way, the out is made, and you're going to have a runner at first base. So I guess it's not that big of a deal, or it's not that much a leverage situation like the Jonah Heim steal was an inning ago. But I don't know if I really saw any contact.
There was, it looked like maybe a little bit, and even if there isn't, and you just get in the guy's way, if the umpires deem that it's interfering with him, then you are out. So yeah, that's. I'm trying to think what the moral equivalent of that ruling is right there in real world terms. But let's just say that's a pretty ticky-tack call.
It is.
It's okay. It's attention to detail. We'll give him credit for that. Again, really doesn't change a darn thing, except from the Rangers' perspective, they do get a slightly better runner at first base. Oh, there's a swing and a high fly ball left field. Ward coming in, and he makes the catch. The inning is over. Well, we've had a great pitcher's duel today, but with the roof open, you never know what kind of offense you're going to get. Maybe a bunt single by Leody Taveras. He uses that great speed to put pressure on the defense, and they throw it away. He gets himself to third base, and then all it takes is a fly ball, and the Rangers lead 1-0. Our TXU Energy Power stats tonight. Tyler Mahle, what a night. 6 shutout against a really hot offense. Just the 3 hits allowed, 9 punch-outs. And he did it on 93 pitches. Everything was working tonight. 18 swings and misses. It's the best Tyler Mahle we've seen yet, which is saying something. Robert Garcia checks in, and he gets a foul ball for strike 1 to start the 7th.
Yep, 18 outs, 18 swings and misses. Swing and miss per out. He just had his stuff working. Fastball was popping at the top of the zone. Splitter, cutter. Just a good combination of stuff tonight.
So now Garcia against d'Arnaud, Jean-Noel, and Paris.
Garcia's numbers, 1-0 record in 8 games so far, holding opponents to just a 160 batting average.
Oh, 2 on the way. Misses with the changeup. d'Arnaud has not had a good night at the plate. I think it's a piece of that one. You see the fastball from the big lefty, Garcia. Tough start to the year for d'Arnaud, who, by the way, he's a former Silver Slugger Award winner. It's this one on the ground, left side, right to Young. Shows off the arm. d'Arnaud retired. Garcia, Rangers got him in a trade from Washington last year with the Nationals. Last couple of years with the Nationals. Rangers sending Nathaniel Lowe to the Nats. And Garcia, the guy, a high leverage reliever. And there's the fastball fouled away by Jean-Noel. He'll show the slider now, more than likely to Jean-Noel. That's what he uses against the lefties to complement the fastball. He's been scoreless in 6 of his 8 appearances so far. There's a high bouncer to first, and Duran flips it to Garcia. 2 quick ground outs. bring up Kyron Paris. So Garcia is interesting to me, Robert. During the pandemic, he decided to go back to school, and he got his MBA. I mean, the guy using the downtime very productively, and then he was pretty much ready just to walk away from the game. His wife talked him into sticking with it. This one shot out to center field, and Paris is on. So the Angels have a base runner, and one with speed. Garcia glad that he did stick with it. Got to the big leagues and has proven to be a really good reliever. Here's Joe Adell. 1 for 2.
He did not pick the side door out of there. Garcia.
Yeah.
For the NBA. We took the easy way out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always the thing, right? The guys who are drafted, and then it's like, well, you can go back and, you know, complete your education. We'll pay for it. Teams offer, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No big deal. Go ahead. And the percentage of guys that go back and finish that degree, where would you put that percentage?
Under half for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
we're probably, I don't know, 10 to 20%.
Yeah, it's a small number. But he did, and then he got his MBA. Hard worker. He needs one more out here, protecting a 1-0 lead. Oh, well, Bruce Bochy had Chris Martin warming up out of the bullpen, and one would have to guess that that's what he wants to do right now. So a couple of right-handers coming up, 3 in a row, in fact, 4 switch hitter, and so Garcia has done his job. Or maybe not. Bruce Bochy. Now he signals. All right. There we go. Garcia is done. He leaves responsible for the runner Paris at first base with the Rangers up 1-0. Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. And by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Chevy drives Texas. And a little look from Dirt Cam out near second base. Enhanced camera angles brought to you by Standard Insurance. We'll try just about anything. The broadcast. Yeah, it's fun. Here's Chris Martin.
Here's what he's done so far this season. ERA right at 2.25.
He's going to come right after guys. Adell fouls off strike 1.
I guess you could see the move that they were making. Now, I was looking at Adell's splits for the season. He is 0 for 9 against left-handed pitching. His career OPS against lefties is 50 points higher. It's not like it's anything special. It's still, both are below 700. Just playing the matchup game. Typical righty is going to see the ball better against the lefty.
Yeah, but Boch is one that, like, he does not mess around. When he has a winnable game, he's got a lead late like this, he tries to lock up every single one of them. 0-2. And that's a little bit high. He really just doesn't take chances.
Especially when you're talking about momentum. When the Rangers had such a tough road trip, they're trending in the downward direction. You're back home. Right now is the time to reverse that trend and get the win tonight when you can.
Paris has good speed at first. Not going. That's pulled foul. Stays 1-2 on Adell. Rangers have scored. The game's only run came on a sacrifice fly last inning. And it's an unearned run because there was an error that led to Taveras getting to third base in the first place. Martin's 1-2. Runner does go this time, and that's fouled away. So Paris was on the move.
Just saw Adell handling his bat in front of him. You can tell it's the torpedo shape of what we were talking about. I mentioned to you before the game. I said hi to Torrey Hunter. And Adele happened to be right next to him, so he was telling Torrey about the torpedo bat that he's using. It's the 34, 33, trying it out, as a lot of guys are throughout baseball. I think it's, I was honestly happy when all the news came out, you know, that I wasn't on a lot of broadcasts, because so many people were talking about it across baseball. I'm thinking, not that it can't be a successful tool, but I feel like it's probably overblown.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that conversation we're talking about has died down a little bit. Is now a medical visit out here on Chris Martin. That is not good. Matt Lucero, head athletic trainer, leading the charge out there. Mike Maddox, Bruce Bochy out there as well. So I don't know what I'm always amazed at what they see in these situations. Because did you notice anything?
I didn't. You know, and I will tell you that so often, let me get another look at it. I don't think there's anything there that's really telling me that there's any type of red light. You know, the training staff, they watch the game in such an interesting way. Like, a lot of times they will shoot out of the dugout without even asking the manager or anything like that. Should I go check on him? Is you see something, you get out there and you check on him.
When it goes again, the 1-2 pitch popped foul. So looking again here. Oh, yeah, that little side
Okay,
bend.
there we go.
Okay.
That is enough. Like so many guys, they're not gonna motion for the medical staff to come check on them. They're gonna do whatever it takes to stay in the game.
Paris not running this time. A swing and a fly ball center field. Long run for Leody Taveras, and he'll make the catch. The inning is over. So Martin gets it done. He may be done for the night. But the big right-hander from Arlington keeps it. Well, you may have heard about the crossbody bag presented by Texas Lottery. It's going to be this Thursday. The 18 or older. Final game of this series, Angels and Rangers. First 15,000 fans will get one. Get your tickets right now at Rangers.com. That'd be pretty cool. Having a great day out of the ballpark, though. Listen, that group's having a wonderful night at the ballpark. How many do you suppose, Murph, know the score of the game right now?
Looks like they're all hopped up on Mountain Dew and any type of candy that they can get their hands on.
That is awesome right there. Reed Detmers will be the first man up out of the bullpen tonight for the Angels, and he runs one inside for a ball.
Now Detmers experiencing a new role out of the bullpen for the Angels this season. So far, so good. Numbers are looking respectable. He has 75 games started throughout the course of his career, and that made up the entirety of his major league career before this season. But 5 games this season, all of them out of the bullpen.
So both teams now into the pen in a 1-0 game. Pilar fouls off another one. I smoked that double earlier, made a nice catch in left field. Last year, finished the year with the Angels. Wasn't real sure if he would play again at the end of the season. He always won the shortstop here, and Pilar retired to begin the 7th. And he was telling me during spring training about that last game. Faced David Robertson in his final at bat, and the entire at bat was just thinking, is this it? Is this how it ends? Standing out in the field thinking, just kind of looking around, right? Taking it all in, like this might be the last time I get to do this. He had declared that he was going to retire at the end of the year, earlier in the season. Of course, once he escaped from the White Sox, maybe it changed his perspective a little bit. Rangers are certainly happy. 2 balls, no strikes here on Heim. Detmers finds the inside corner 95 with that fastball. 2-1. Three and one, so good job here by Jonah. Worked the count to his favor. He did walk last time up. And here's a swing and a miss. And then he was caught stealing second base, even though he stole the base by a couple of feet. It was interference on the part of Kyle Higashioka as he struck out, and that unfortunately cost Heim that stolen base. Payoff pitch on the way from Detmers, and that one's pulled down the third baseline. That's a fair ball, and that scoots down into the corner. Heim heads to second base, and he has a 1-out double.
Jonah's at-bats from the right side have been tremendous to this point. He's hit for some power. This a double that's over 100 miles an hour off the bat. Gets good wood on what looked to be a slider that was in on his hands. Beats his hands to the baseball, gets inside of it, and keeps it fair.
All right, so he's in scoring position for Higashioka. And he'll take strike one.
I feel like it's time for Higgy's first homer as a Ranger.
Oh, he's putting in the call. Here we go. 17 homers last year for Higashioka with the Padres. He watches up and out. I'm rooting for you, Murph. 2-1.
Gotta throw him a strike.
Give him something to hit, right?
2-1 count. Good place to be. Runner in scoring position. Lefty on the mound.
Well, should give him something decent right here. And he does, and it's hit hard down the left field line. That'll be extra bases anyway. Up off the fence. Heim is in, and Higashioka delivers with a man in scoring position. The RBI double makes it 2-0 Rangers.
Well, this is just a good swing right here. Hunting heater down the middle, ends up just a little bit in, gets the head out similar to Jonah. Well struck ball. You know, this could have actually ended up being a single. Ward mishandled this ball off the fence again. I don't know if he's got a good enough arm where he was going to throw Higashioka out all the way from the fence. But either way, a run in, successful at bat with runners in scoring position. 2-0 Ranger lead. 2-0 Ranger lead. There's that ball off the fence again. Just Ward gets ahead of himself, doesn't watch all the way into his glove.
Runner going, and that one fouled away. Higashioka got a good jump. Detmers just not paying attention, but has to go back.
I love it. It's obvious that whatever the Rangers are talking about behind closed doors, they want to be more of a dynamic, aggressive type of offense. You're not thinking that Jonah Heim and Higashioka are guys that are going to steal bases. And do we expect them to steal 20? Or even 15, no, but if they can pick their spots, and all power to them.
Ball to shortstop. Duran retired. And there are 2 gone. So Taveras, who started the scoring tonight in the 6th inning, will come up, but not before we hear from Jack in the Box.
My Nashville hot popcorn chicken. So much deliciousness starting at $6.99.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Okay. Now you can go. Taveras bunt single in the 6th inning, scored a run. First run of the game, and he swings and misses here with the fastball. It's a little bit wide, 1-1. So opening game of this series, and a big series for the Rangers, coming off a tough road trip. Trail the Angels by a half game in the standings coming into play today. And the bender apparently catches a corner there. Strike 2. Rangers in a stretch where they're going to see a lot of divisional opponents, starting with that last series with Seattle. This ball in the air center, and Adell has it measured. Rangers will pick up another run though. 8th inning coming up. Kyle Higashioka bangs one off the fence to stretch that Rangers lead. All right, 2-0. Since that little fella's feeling it. Oh boy. What's going through his little mind right there. All he knows is this Rangers offense is opened up for 2 runs. And now Jacob Webb takes over in the 8th inning.
Webb, a reliable reliever for the Rangers this year. 8 innings so far for him, 4.5 ERA. He's a change-up first guy, throws it at 45%, mixes in a 4-seamer at 37%, and will throw a breaking ball that's a sweeper 18% of the time.
All right, 3rd reliever tonight for the Rangers, behind Tyler Mahle, who threw 6 shutout. And Webb yanks that one off the plate for ball 1 to Tim Anderson, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Martin got the final out last inning and didn't look any worse to wear. We did get a visit in the middle of the at bat with Joe Adell. We'll find out after the game if there's anything to that. Webb's 1-1, and that one hits the corner. One of the nice things about Webb, he's one of those guys, he wants to throw all the time. Oop. He got Anderson, so the lead man is on in the 8th inning. Didn't mean to do that. Two strikes in the at bat. He did not want to put a guy like Anderson on because he can run too. Anderson a little slow getting to first base. 72-year-old manager is going to beat him there.
I guess even if Anderson's not feeling great, getting hit in the hand, he's a quick enough guy to where you probably want him out there on the bases if he can stand to be out there. If you need to make a change, look at exactly where he was hit. That is not a great place. Lower forearm, closer to the hand. The reaction is not a good one. Looked like it hurt him pretty good.
Got a little smile on his face, so apparently everything all right. That's good news for Anderson and for the Angels. Anderson been playing shortstop for him. Of course, they've got Zach Neto currently on the injured list. They're hoping to get him back soon, not in this series, but maybe shortly after. Neto would figure to be a really critical member of this team in the middle infield, winning if they can get him back. Here's Ward now, top of the order. And the first pitch to him. He'll bounce at third base. That could be two. Young to second, gets the one out. On to first, not in time. That was a long way around the horn. And Ward hustled it out. They'll check upstairs, and they may be checking not so much the play at first as much as the play at second, right? The slide rule into second base.
Young does a great job of coming to get it. He throws on the run, so he does not get as much arm strength as he possibly could on it. Simeon's momentum has taken him away from first base, so similarly, he's not able to get everything that he has onto the throw. Ward obviously safe at first.
So now, the breaking ball misses low to Rengifo. Rengifo tonight 0 for 3. The Angels with 4 hits tonight. Yeah, there's a big swing and a miss on the changeup. Switch hitter. Rengifo playing third base tonight, but they could use him pretty much anywhere on the infield. Great contact hitter. That's 1 and 2. Also a guy with some power, not Mike Trout power, but he's got the occasional, 15 to 20 homers in him. One out, Ward the runner at first. Well, Webb would love another ground ball right here. Outside, full count.
And here's a tricky situation. 3-2 count. The guy in Rengifo up there, if he can put the bat on the ball, this could be a situation where you might want to run, but you also don't want to take the chance of getting thrown out with Mike Trout on deck.
Small lead at first, but he is running. The pitch is a strike call. The throw down to second, a good one. They got him. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play to win the inning. Pegged by Higashioka.
That is huge. Strike him out and throw him out. Puts that throw on the money. Great job by Seager of going to get it. Coming across the bag to apply the tag. Well, Texas with a 2-0 lead here going in the bottom of the 8th. We're going to show you how the top of the 8th ended. We just saw the action on Higashioka, and this is why. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Looked like a close play at second. I'm wondering if Ward beat the tag and why there was no challenge, but I don't know.
It was so far to go to get the tag on him. But the Rangers pleased with it. Now bottom of the 8th inning, up by 2. And it'll be Semien, Seager, and Young. Ryan Johnson, new pitcher in the game. One of the Halos.
I was talking to Mark Gubicza about him earlier. Gubicza does play-by-play for the Angels. And Johnson, the new guy, went to Dallas Baptist and did not spend a day in the minor leagues. Came up to spring training and just blew through all of it. Starts off in the big leagues. You saw the ERA up there close to 9, but the stuff is there. It's pretty nasty. He's got some stuff that can move.
Flare out toward shallow left and run down by Anderson for the first out of the inning.
Well, great job by Anderson here. He turns his back, he goes to run. You see he calls it. That's a difficult play, and he is the only guy that ends up being there. It would have been too shallow for either of the outfielders to handle, but good job going back over his head, making the Willie Mays style catch.
Pretty cool, man. Now Seager, he'll take low for a ball.
And I guess I've never heard it described that way before, but it makes sense. But Gooby was saying, yeah, he goes from the slide step out of the windup.
Down the left field line, and that is off the wall, and that'll be extra bases for Seager. His second hit of the game, and now he's in scoring position. Just kept it fair.
Lots of action for Taylor Ward out there in left field these last few innings. 95 away. You're going to have to get it right on the corner for Seager not to barrel it. He handles everything line to line and just misses driving this one out of here to the opposite field.
Fourth double for the Rangers tonight. Josh Young, the batter. And they'll take outside.
Well, here's another look from a different angle. Just hits at the bottom of the wall. Missed by what, about 11 feet, 10, 11 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 feet. Probably not that high.
Hard to know, really.
We'll go measure it tomorrow.
Get out early tomorrow. Early work for you, huh? 1-1. There's a bouncer up the middle, and that is off of Anderson's glove. Seager scores from second. Young brings in another run. It's 3-0 Rangers. It was hit hard.
Yeah, it was hit at nearly 100 miles an hour, chopped straight into the ground. But you could see on that second hop, after all the spin was put on the baseball, that it was going to take off. Anderson could not handle it. Scoots into center field to extend the Rangers' lead.
Garcia, and he'll watch one well off the plate.
Well, here's another look at that bounce. After the first hop, the baseball gets all kinds of spin on it, so it hits the hop the second time and really shoots off that turf. Always difficult for the player to handle.
Ball, 1 strike on Garcia now. Rangers with 7 hits tonight. And that's a strike. 1-2 the count on El Bombi, who is 0 for 3. A strikeout, pop out, and a fly out. Adolis is one of the few who had a pretty good road trip at the plate. And watch one again. A little bit wide. Garcia had hit in every game on that road trip except the finale in Seattle. But he was 6 for 20 on the trip. A double, an RBI, a couple of walks in there. Young leading, and he'll draw a throw. Tell you what, we got a pretty nice crowd on a Tuesday night with school in session. Fouls that one away. Chance of El Bombi around the house tonight. It's been fun. Those kids still haven't quite crashed yet.
They've been rewarded with a roof open and some beautiful weather.
See a little sass, that one. 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Garcia strikes out. 2 gone.
Between his sweeper and his cutter, he's got some pitches that seem to move from corner to corner of the plate. Lots of horizontal movement for Johnson.
Pilar doubled earlier. Young will be ready to move the wide open right side of the infield with the way they set up defensively on Pilar. 3 infielders shaded strongly to the left. And with Shanoel holding Young. Goodness gracious. And Pilar takes outside. Pilar in the lineup today against the lefty Kikuchi. He stays in the game, even with the right-hander out there now. Johnson's 1-1. He started. He did not go. 2-1. Another throw over there, so they can't pick anymore over to first base without running the risk of sending Young to second on a balk. That's 2 disengagements. So now Josh could take a real big lead. Not going anywhere. The pitch is way in. Young does have a stolen base this year. Pilar should get something here. 3-1. The pitch. And it's a full count. Making Johnson work this inning. Already at 20 pitches. Love to add to the lead. 3-0 the score. Goes Young, and a foul ball. We'll do it again.
That was the one you want to hit. It's got some cut on it, but it's up in the zone, so it's not going to break quite as much.
We're doing some battle, Pilar, with this right-hander. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Here it is. And a bouncer, third base. That's a fair ball. Long throw from Rengifo, and it bounces away. Heading into third base, Young. He comes around, and he will score without a throw. 4-0 Rangers.
Well, the Rangers have waited till late to bust this one open, but they have continued to just add offense here in these later innings. This just a simple ground ball to third base, but good things happen when you put the ball in play and put pressure on the defense. The ball is thrown away. Josh Young continues to circle the bases and is able to score the Rangers' 4th run.
Now, I would guess that would be a hit and an error. Pilar would get credit for a hit. No RBI, and that Young would score on the throwing error by Rengifo, but we'll see. Who knows? 4-0 the score. Now, the Angels, they've, sometimes it's been scored an error, sometimes it's just been a misplay. But they've given the Rangers a little bit extra here tonight a couple of times. And to the Rangers' credit, they've taken advantage of it.
Well, and not to mention, not only defensive miscues, but we go back to the base running miscue by Mike Trout that could have made the game that could have given the Angels a 1-0 lead early on and, put the Rangers at a disadvantage. That was a big play in this game also.
Well, that cost him Johnson some pitches here too. And that's not insignificant, right? Because it could have an effect on his ability to come back in another game in this series. Pilar, the runner at first. And Heim fouls that away. It's 0-2. It was a hit and an error. No RBI. Heim's had a good day today at the plate. 1 for 2 with a double and a walk. Boy, Pilar almost can't get the attention right now of Johnson. I mean, he's doing some goofy stuff over there at first, and Johnson isn't flinching. I mean, look at how far out he got there that last time. Took a couple of steps towards second. All right, now he'll draw the throw. Another 1-2. Ooh, and they got Heim chasing that. Strike 3. It ends the inning. What a good inning for the Rangers. 3 hits in total. They add 2 more runs. 3 outs away from taking the opener in this series. Rangers with the 4-0 advantage as we go to the 9th inning here tonight. And wanted to let you know about theme night tickets. You can use them to get a Josh Young Younglecat figurine, first in a series of 4. Collect them all. That's this Thursday. Angels and Rangers, only when you buy your tickets at rangers.com/theme nights. All right, Luke Jackson try and finish this one off in the 9th inning.
Well, remember Jackson had the hiccup on opening day, and it takes a little while for somebody to get settled, but he has been scoreless since. Perfect in 6 outings without a run allowed.
There's 1 strike offering, and that one a little bit in, 1-1. It's Mike Trout to start things off here. There's a foul ball. You think about games past when you're playing this Angels team and how you'd want to avoid a guy like Trout in the 9th inning. And oftentimes it seemed like his spot would come up after a couple of hitters, so maybe they'd have a few men on. In a way, him leading off is not the worst thing. 1-2. Did he go? No. Apparently not. 2-2.
Just such a different turn of events. The Angels were starting to threaten. They had a runner at first with 1 out, and then got to strike him out, throw him out, double play. If the double play did not happen, they would have Mike Trout up and a chance to tie the game. So they get to strike him out, throw him out, and they end up going on and putting 2 runs on the board in the bottom of the 8th.
Now this one's worked out in a lot of different ways in the Rangers' favor tonight. Little moments that seem to have just tipped their direction. The 3-2, and Trout lifts it down the right side. Foul. We'll do it again. Well, it's a big homestand too. You've got the Angels for these 3, the Dodgers over the weekend, hoping for a little bit of a bounce back after that tough road trip. The payoff, and Trout into short right field. That one's heading foul. A run for Duran, but it is Garcia coming in. Calls everybody off and makes the catch.
It's a great job in all aspects. You see the 3 guys on the right side of the field. They all go after the baseball. The roof's open, so the wind's blowing a little bit more. The priority is the guy in the back, which is Garcia, and he should take it if he can get to it. He hustles in, he gets there. You see him calling it off. He's able to bring home the out.
And now first pitch strike here to Soler. Soler, a walk, a single, and a strikeout. It's fouled away, 0-2. Jackie Robinson night, everybody wearing the number 42 tonight in honor of one of the most important figures in baseball history. Baseball shellacked out to left field. Pilar's back. That's up over his head and then up over his head again. And Soler has a 1-out double in the 9th inning.
Anytime there's a ball hit with Kevin Pillar in the area, you just always feel like there's a chance it might get caught, regardless of how hard it's hit or where it is. Good effort on this baseball. Jumps, does everything he can. Just that ball is not catchable.
So Soler in scoring position for Travis d'Arnaud, who's 0 for 3. And Jackson's first pitch, that one a little bit low. When they retired Jackie Robinson's number in 1997, of course, guys who were wearing it were grandfathered in. You could continue to wear it for the remainder of your career. The last guy to wear number 42 was probably the greatest closer in baseball history, Mariano Rivera. And so tonight, the Rangers closer, he gets to wear number 42. I don't know if he's channeling Mariano. Let's see that cutter. It's low with a curveball. 2-1. But we're now, once Mariano retired, number not given out anymore. Darno struggled tonight, 0 for 3. And he fouls that one. That'll even the count at 2-2.
Crazy thing about Mariano, just throwing the cutter. I mean, I'd like to know the percentage of pitchers in baseball history that did not have some type of breaking ball or a changeup in their arsenal.
2-2 and a swing and a miss. Darno strikes out. 2 gone.
High heat. Up and away. Darno can't get to it. Awkward swing there. It's nasty. 95 away from Luke Jackson.
So Shawell, the last man standing for the Angels, he'll bounce it right side. Duran knocks it down, picks it up, throws it to Jackson in time, and this one is over. The Rangers complete the shutout. A 4-0 win in the opener against the Halos.
Zeke getting the start at first base today. He got a bunch of early work in during batting practice for good reason. Able to get to this one, knocks it down, throws a strike over to first base to Luke Jackson to complete it. And here's one more look for you. Look at Jackson getting off the mound, helping your first baseman out. Good game for the Rangers to start this homestand.
And they take over first place again. And today's copyright telecast, presented by authority of Rangers Television LLC, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts or descriptions of tonight's game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rangers Television LLC. What a night at Globe Life Field. Roof open and the Rangers win it 4-0. We'll come back and wrap this one up for you in just a moment.